Alright, so I still have yet to commentate on a Route 66 tournament because the one this last week did a chop, and you all know how I feel about that. But we can do this Venom special, $215 buy-in, 150,000 guaranteed prize pool, ended up with 210,000 for the total prize pool because we have 1,050 entrants. Yeah. So shout outs to all these guys who, who ran deep, but didn't quite make the final table. And $215 is quite the investment. At least it is for people like me. Ape Styles, That's a Mistake, Detente. There's a number of people here that you'll might get a good look at for a couple other final tables. Yep. Because they're in another Venom special that I plan on covering. I haven't checked yet if whether or not they did a deal or not. How do I say whether or not and then say or not later? Anyway, I've not checked whether or not they did a deal, but oh gosh, I just saw this game started out at 1:05 p.m. yesterday. It finished this morning at 2:16. That's a lot of poker. Kind of glad that I don't have the budget to play this yet. Anyway, so where was it? But yeah, so I don't know if that one did a deal or not. We'll find that out later. But then after that, I will plan on commentating the Venom itself, which I might do live because it starts at 4:05, I think, p.m. tomorrow. The final table does, so I might do that one live. We'll see. Of course, if they end up doing a chop, I'm going to be mighty disappointed. But it is the Venom, so yeah. So, the one guy that really jumps out is, of course, the person who has his own avatar that he gets to use. It's Chris Moorman. Moorman1 there from UK, who, if I'm not mistaken, was voted the #1 online poker player on Earth in, like, 2010? Whoa. Joka Kenjic, that is. So walk on the first hand, nothing thrilling there. Yeah, he is a team pro for America's Cardroom. So very good to see him one of these final tables. Somebody that I actually know is in fact a real poker pro. We also have Zlata Ibrahimovna from Russia, who obviously is a big football fan. I've seen this person in so many big final table moments, like really high buy-ins, so I know that this guy's obviously a pro. I don't know if he's an IRL pro, but he's certainly an online pro. Pocket nines, but luckily he's being raised by Jack 4 of clubs, so this should be an easy all-in. Or a small raise. I would have just gone with the all-in. Pocket nines, you can't play pocket nines post-flop, or at least I can't. We also have Mustafa Manit, who's obviously a Mustafa Kanit fan, but he's not from Italy, he is from Romania. So he's just a fan. Or maybe models his game after Mustafa Kanit. I mean, a good choice. I mean, I checked him out on Hendon Mob, and he's got, what did he have, $12.3 million? People like people like Zlata and Chris Moorman especially. You're very unlikely to see them anywhere other than these very high buy-in tournaments brought up by the Venom or the High Five series or the OSS. You know, only the big ticket games because their bankrolls are a little bit too high for most of what ACR has to offer. I mean, of course they can play for fun. There's nothing wrong with that, but it won't be interesting for them unless they play much higher buy-ins. Even this $215 a buy-in, while it is too much for me, it's pretty much child's play for the likes of Chris Moorman. And you see the payouts, they're guaranteed $4,305, which is nice. But that really won't add much to Moorman's bankroll. And he decided not to get overly aggressive there. Now, what I remember about him in the early 2010s is that he never met a raise pre-flop he did not want to take. It looks like he's mellowed out somewhat based on the fact that he never did try to take that pot down post-flop. I might want to learn from that. Now, we could have seen that it might have worked. Oh, well. Folds the 10-9. I'm a little surprised he raised early position with the 10-9 suited if he wasn't going to call a small 3-bet with it. Now, I see, of course, he's getting a little low on chips, and Voxy there raised with a big stack. I don't know. 12 big blinds for EU Pro Meto. Pretty much all in or fold. This is the bottom of his range. I feel you, bro. I would fold this personally. He's gonna min raise. It's curious. So he's probably gonna end up playing a pot with Infliponcio. Never mind. He probably thought, okay, that's a min raise from that short of a stack. He's got to have kings or aces. I'm out. Stuff him on each with a weak ace, well, medium ace technically. But medium aces are weak aces because they can't flop straights. Ace 10 might be shove worthy or min raise worthy because he apparently does not want to shove yet. Zlata should play with the king 9, and nice flop for EU Pro Meto. Zlata, to his credit, does not lose any more than he needs to. And we move straight on. This is going to be a long one. I mean, with this quality of players, it's you know it's going to take a heck of an effort to knock somebody out. I wasn't expecting this much, though. Just a limp from Zlata. Gustafa Manit with sort of a nice hand for being blind versus blind anyway. Does not elect to raise pre-flop. Zlata bets, and Gustafa with just 10 high might as well just pitch it in. So if Zlata was going to do that post-flop when he missed, I don't know why he wouldn't just do that pre-flop. I don't know. I'm sure he had a reason for it. It's just beyond my understanding, probably. Because I know Zlata is definitely better than me. His results speak for themselves. Not that I can look them up, of course, but I just know that he's had a lot of these big-ticket final tables. Joko with a raise. Apparently that deal click was a joke, because that green circle is gone from him now. And Infliponcio with pocket 9s. But no one else has anything. Voxy is going to call with the Queen 2 offsuit. Don't know why. This is why I don't like to min raise. I always make it, in a spot like this, maybe 460, 470. If you make it 460, 470, then Queen 2 probably won't call you and potentially outflop your 9s. In this case, it worked out nicely. Wish it worked out that way for me some more, because I hate pocket 9s so much. I don't know how long these games are going to be available for watching, but I might save the rest of this one for... Or I mean, the other one for tomorrow, if this one's going to be this long. course, I could always just look up the other game and see if they did a chop, which will save me some time. So Moorman flops a gut shot, which he'll bet, understandably, but Lillekond, I have no idea if I'm even close to saying that correctly, with the pair of aces, certainly not going anywhere. Well, that king of clubs may save Hond a little bit of money because there's a third club out there. That's the worst card in the deck for ace-8. Moorman, of course, loves it because it gives him a straight. And now he goes for a full half-pot bet. He's betting smaller on the flop. And Hond, with the good lay down there, figured that if he was on a draw, everything just hit, so... Very good discipline by Lillekond. The sick thing is the blinds are actually going to be even deeper at the other table. They're actually not that deep here. If you take a look at the blinds. It's this one was 15-minute blinds for the whole way through. The other one that I was looking at starts out 15, but then once you get past the late reg, it goes up to 20. Usually when you get past the late reg, it gets shallower. But it actually deepened after the late reg. This is a $215 tournament. The other one that I was planning on covering was a $630 progressive knockout tournament. Which seems like a pretty good lead-in because the Venom this time around is a PKO. It's in its own right. Moorman not afraid of the big blind having way more than he does. Because, you know, having star power and reputation can carry you a pretty good distance. I think Joker has enough to keep going with the up and down straight draw, even on the pair board. That's a soft enough bet that you really ought to at least attempt to chase a little bit. Yeah. And he hits it, and Moorman hits the pair of kings. The question is, will he keep betting, or will he slow down now that he has showdown value? This is a pretty similar hand that what we just saw between Hond and Moorman. Oh, he's going to keep going. Joka now wondering if he should raise now or just call. Of course, when there's a paired board, you always have a decision to make when you have a straight. He's certainly not folding now, but okay, he's just going to call. That's a very brick river. So now, Moorman probably with incentive to slow down. No, he's going to keep going for 1 million, under a third of the pot. Joka probably feels pretty confident about his straight. Moorman has 3 million behind, so this would probably be a good time to pop it back all in. Yeah, he is going to do it. And Moorman, I'm sure, knows that a king can't possibly be good against an all-in on the river here. Giving it some thought, though. Oh, come on, Chris. There you go. I was saying, like, I just touted you as being the best player in the world in 2010, and, you know... Oh, right. Bleep. Don't need to worry about breaks anymore. I will have to consider the break if I were to commentate on the Venom live. Well, Moorman's in trouble here. He just got away from that hand, but now he's got 9-10 of clubs against pocket 10s. The same guy. And we can see that there's a 9 that'll be in the muck soon. Moorman now with only 14 big, or 12 big blinds even. Now that the blinds are up to 125 and 250. 9-10 of clubs on the button. He might be thinking all in. Lays like Han, I think, just forgot to show up back to the table. He is going to go all in, and he's going to get some bad news here. Joka has him with the absolute worst hand he could possibly have. And no nines to speak of. He's going to need, let's see, running clubs or running straights. Okay, he's not drawing dead. He needs a queen. Nope. That's going to do it. Chris Moorman is our first player eliminated from this final table. Joka Kenjits came in as the chip leader, and now he is threatening to run away with it. Now with 18.1 million, even with the new big blinds, that is 72.5 of them. Boxy, the only one who even has half as much as him. $4,305 for Chris Moorman. $6,384 for the next guy out. Infliponcio. Going for the all-in. Zlata has fewer chips. Ace 10 suited versus Ace 10 suited coming up here. We get one raise. We get a re-raise. Boxy with a decision here. I think an all-in would be a pretty big overplay, but he is going to do that and hope that he gets a full. Wow, nice. I assume that all-in was mostly a bluff, trying to get Han to fold the likes of King, Queen suited, or even Ace Jack, or a small pair, and just pick up the pot uncontested. If so, well done. You've got twice as much as the guy you're up against. You have the liberty to make a move like that once in a while. EU Pro has enough to just call and see a flop if he wants to. Okay. Well, it worked for Voxy, and it'll work for EU Pro. And now, oh look, I see Pocket Nine's about to lose another big hand. Mustafa with Ace Jack suited, EU Pro with tens. Actually, if things get real violent here, maybe Infliponcio can get away from the nines. Just a call from the Ace Jack suited. EU Pro probably going for the squeeze shove. I would assume. But I've already assumed wrong a few times. Now he's going to go for it. Voxy with the easiest fold of his life. Infliponcio can get away from this. Please. Be my hero. Your nines are no good. They never are. Oh! Now what does Mustafa want to do? He actually would have had a good chance. Oh, the 9 actually hits! And Mustafa's Ace Jack of clubs would not have won either. So the 9s, against all odds, actually managed to win a hand. EU Pro out in 7th place. And the rest of this table made quick work of the Brits. 6,384 for EU Pro. And 8,484 for the next guy out. If no... Oh. Dangerous spot for Ledlike Hond. Oh, here we go again. All in. There's no way Mustafa folds here. And that queen might look like overkill, but that jack gives Ledlike Hond actually 4 outs instead of the 3 he had in the first place, so that's not a bad flop for Hond. He needs a king. Nope. Okay, Ledlike Hond also out of here. And just like that, we're down to 5. So it can happen quickly. Ledlike Hond, 6th place, $8,484. Everybody else is guaranteed 5 digits. And Zlata must be approving of the carnage around him now. But he knows that his laddering up stops here. He's going to have to do something if he wants to get any further up the pay ladder. Yeah, nice board for Joka Kenjic. This is not an easy final table to pronounce. We have 2 representatives from South America, nobody from North America, and then 2 Brits, and then 4 continental Europe. Wait, is that Daniel Negreanu in the crowd in the yellow shirt? That's supposed to be Daniel Negreanu. It looks like it might be him. I'm pretty sure that Negreanu is not on America's Cardroom. I think he was on Poker Stars, at least for a while. I don't know if he stopped after Black Friday in 2011. Stuff I might eat with a raise and Infliponcio. Better be careful with the King Jack suited. Okay, he is being careful. And nice flop for the King Jack. Maybe going for the check raise. If Gustavo will do it. One would expect a continuation bet. I usually see bet when I have a big hand that doesn't connect with the board. Yeah. I think I might c-bet a little too much. I try to mix it up a little bit, but yeah, I find myself c-betting a lot. And this is what can happen sometimes. Okay, he does go for the check raise. And Mustafa now can leave, and Infliponcio can accept that pot. Uh-oh. Mustafa with... What is it that... Okay, the Queen 2 decides to call with the short stack. I know I said he has to do something. I didn't think he'd do that. But he's got 3 red cards. 2 of them are diamonds. Surprised that Zlata didn't just open shove there. Actually, I guess I get it. With Infliponcio also being in there, the pot odds were telling Zlata to go for it. And I think yeah, he's got to go for it now. Mustafa's not going anywhere with the 2 aces. And that's a safe turn card. No extra outs. Zlata needs a diamond or he also is wamboozled. Nope. Nothing for Zlata. He is now eliminated in 5th place. And now we have 4 players over 10 million and under 20 million. Oh my god, this is going to take forever. $10,584 for Zlata. Everybody else guaranteed over 15K. Well done. I mean, yeah, Zlata had to do something to get himself back into it. Find himself a good spot, but didn't work. I would have folded the Queen too, personally, but looking at that from an outsider's perspective, I realized that yeah, he had logic behind that. Yeah, this is the part of the game where the jockeying for position is very much active, but very slow. You see that bar at the bottom of the screen. Pair of 10s for Infliponcio. And amazingly, South America has survived to make it 2-on-2 against Europe. Well, there was, of course, the Zlata from Russia. There's no telling whether he was from the Europe side of Russia or the Asia side of Russia. I didn't really tend to think of Russia as belonging to a continent. Russia's just Russia. There's just so much of it. Well, garbage hands and the blind. Oh, hello. And Fliponcio wants to play. Our friend from Serbia. We'll just go ahead and let him take that one. So I guess we have Serbia in front, followed by Romania, Peru, and Brazil. But everybody's... it is anyone's game right now. Now, if 4 happens, Gustav is in really big trouble. Oh, actually, I think he could get away from it. And I think he recognizes that having the 4 as an out is a little bit because it also gives anyone with a 7 a better hand. And he's just going to get away from it right now. Very smart. No, he actually had the best hand with the ace high, but still. You tend to think that you're chasing when you have ace high and a flop like that comes out. When you're already facing a bet on the flop, you don't want to face a bigger bet on the turn and then an even bigger bet on the river when you only have ace high. I'm tempted to press at least the 1.5x button. Just because I know how long this is about to take. Oh, here we go. You know what? How about this? When I see 4 hands that aren't very big, I'll press the 2x button. But when I see at least 2 playable hands, I'll snap it back to 1x. Like, right now, this is definitely a 1x hand. This is a hand that could be interesting. Joker with enough to call this time. I think he limped on purpose just to induce a raise by Infliponcio so that he knows that he's not going to be able to get away with that behavior every time. However, that flop is complete bricks for everyone. Infliponcio, with the pre-flop lead, bets another 1 million, and Joka with queen high and no draw pretty much has to... Oh! Well, now he's really sending a message to Infliponcio. And Infliponcio sends a message right back! And a snap fold. Well done, Infliponcio. Joka made absolutely no secret of the fact that he was completely full of air there. Alright, 2x. Infliponcio makes a huge inroad. Not 1 million, but close. Oh, actually, I have a bit of an interesting hand here. Because now Custafa, with the pre-flop lead, has nothing. Infliponcio, though, with a pair of 10s, can now play the hand as a trap. And now he might not want to. The ace actually gives Custafa an extra out. You can have a jack or a 3 now for the best hand. Infliponcio might be on defense mode now. Custafa, maybe with... Yep, here we go. The delayed continuation bet now that he's got a draw. Infliponcio with, I think, too much to fold. Personally, I would snap call to try and discourage Custafa from making another bet. But he's thinking about folding. Or raising. The way he played against Joker. No, he's going to fold. I don't know about that one, man. The scare card pops out on the turn. The hand's been played pretty softly the whole way. And a suspiciously large bet is made against you. I don't know. Well, Custafa with a nice thought there of trying to raise big. 3.5x. But Ace-King's not going anywhere. That'll be a quick one. I said that'll be a quick one. Thank you. Nothing. And the worst hand takes it. King 10. My favorite hand. Oh, here we go. This could be interesting. King 10 versus Ace 7. I guess Infinite Potency might be thinking about balancing his range too, because he made that raise and play against, oh wow, against Joka with absolutely nothing, and there he actually folds with a pair. Well, he's got some plans. There's definitely a method to his madness. Ace King versus 2-5s coming up here. There you go. That's not a min raise. I like that. Interesting flop, in the sense that it's actually the most boring flop you've ever seen. But the thing is, Ace King is still doing pretty well against any non-pair. Like, that flop couldn't have changed anything. Jack might have changed something, but not much. It looks like they're both content to check it down for the showdown value that they have. At least they might have thought that at first. It goes bet call, and that's just such a nothing board. I think they had to know that their pre-flop hands are just exactly the same. It does go bet call again. Kustafa with the good read there that the 5s are good, and Voxy understandably thinks that the ace high still might be good. We have 8 red cards here. No one's making a flush on this hand. But also nobody's playing the hand. And so Voxy in a little bit of trouble, but still doing okay. Okay, now he's in more trouble. Ace Queen against Ace 10. Four-handed, Ace 10 feels like a 3-bet every time. Kustafa, though, with Ace Queen, probably thinking of the all-in here. He knows he can afford it. Yeah, he's gonna go all in. Voxy cannot find the fold, and he is in with the Ace 10, 16 million in the middle. Kustafa either will be the chip leader or the short stack. And Voxy needs a 10, or now a 9 will work. And it's a jack. Voxy takes 4th place, which was it $15,000? Yeah, $15,225. Everyone else guaranteed over $20,370. Well, guaranteed exactly $20,370. And we are down now to 3, with Europe now holding the lead over South America very clearly. If that means anything to anyone. It's almost hard for me to believe that there's no chop at this one, considering the stacks where they are and how long we have to go. And I remind you, okay, Joka's back in the wimp corner. I remind you that this ended up going to 2:16 in the morning, which is something I'll give them. I don't usually factor that in, how long they've actually been playing in basically one sitting with 5-minute breaks every hour, but 5-minute breaks every hour doesn't really cut it for too much. This is still an awfully long time to stay awake. And be focused on one thing. Joka raises with the King 2. In Fliponcio with King Ace. Best King. And Joka sees even 3-handed. He's probably better off letting him have this one. Another potential interesting hand here. Okay. Forget about the 2x thing. We're only 3-handed now. Any hand could be the last one, even though we know it won't be. Infliponcio with nothing, but he'll go for it. Joka with just way too much to fold. The king and the draw. Now he's got two draws. Infliponcio is drawing absolutely dead. Wait. No, he can chop it with a jack. But it can't be a diamond. He's going to keep going, and Joka's just got way too much to fold. Might even raise it. Right, so it's going to call. And they end up with a 9. Infliponcio may check back for the showdown value. I don't think he will, though. Because that's really not enough. He's been representing a hand much better than 9s. No, he is going to check it back. I think that was more of a check surrender than it was checking for showdown value, because if Joka can call him, he's definitely got better than a pair of 9s. Ace King again showing up here three-handed. Re-raise. Gustavo with 8-10. No, thank you. Pick out the big blinds. Oh yeah, we should still be here for a while. And I'm getting a feeling. I'm getting a lethargic feeling just looking at this and looking at that bar at the bottom and realizing how long we have to go. Like, I feel bad for these guys having to fight it out the whole way. Right, the least I can do, even though I have the power to zip through this, the least I can do is actually commentate on it as it all happened, well, except for breaks. Ooh. Staffa with three-handed, I think that is a raise, actually. Joka with possibly a three-betting hand, three-handed. And Infliponcio, three-handed, you're pretty much committed to tens regardless. He's going to fold the queen. Wow. He just had a feeling, and I think he was correct. The fours take it down. Look, I'm not going to be manufacturing energy when I don't really have it. I'll be sure to give the big moments the gravity that they deserve when they come up here during this match. But let's not pretend that, oh, big raise from just the King 7 offsuit. I guess Joka has picked up on the fact that stuff has been raised folding a lot. So he's going to go ahead and push the small edges, which I guess you can do three-handed. Actually, you kind of have to. You can't hide when it's only three-handed. Don't really know how I feel about 3.5x raising blind versus blind when it's only three-handed. Like, you're going to be playing blind versus blind an awful lot, so 3.5x seems a bit much. Infliponcio flops middle pair top kicker. Joka already kind of done with this hand, looks like. Inflaponcio does not make the bet. Suspicious of the check, perhaps? There's a second check. Inflaponcio. Well, now I think he's just playing for showdown value. Joka hits a little bit of showdown value himself with the 5. So check again. And he's beating Ace 10 now. He's beating King 9. Now he's going to bet. I don't think it's enough to fold out. Nah, he's going to call. Joka with 6-4 diamonds. I'd play that 3-handed. There's 2 aces here. Poncio versus Mustafa Manit. And a limp from the suited ace. Interesting. Going for the limp re-raise, I would assume. Mustafa with the raise, or with ace anything, usually raises 3-handed, but they're both going to limp with their aces. Pair of 8s with an ace kicker. Inflaponcio's got to feel pretty good about that. Mustafa may actually stick around just because he has the ace. He underrepresented his hand by checking. And he does do that. Nothing really materializing for Mustafa. Check from Inflaponcio. Mustafa's still beating, like, King Rag. He's not beating a lot of, like, middle connectors, though. He's beating 5-4. How is not beating 5-4? They both can't like that river. Inflaponcio checks. This would actually be a good time for Mustafa to maybe represent something here. I don't really think he's blocking anything except for 5-4, like I mentioned. He is going to go for it. Nice call, though, and a quick one, too. Inflaponcio just not falling for it. Alright, heck it. 2x. I know what I said, but I gotta get through this. I'm not that busy today, but I don't want this to drag out for you guys either. Alright, so Joka has pair of 2s. That'd probably just be enough. Oh, the blinds are going up again. The blinds want this to keep going. Here we go. 3-bet time for Joka. I assume Mustafa folds here, but it's 3-handed. He might pay off 2.1 million. Nope. Oh, here we go. Jack Queen suited versus Ace 9. Now, Joka does not seem to like Jack Queen as a hand. And that's a very big raise. Just realized I left my phone on the charger. It's been charging and it doesn't even need to. This time Joka does call, and that's the flop he was looking for. Big pot. 6.7 million already. Inflaponcio might be kicking himself for raising that much. He's going to keep going for it, though. And Joka, with top pair, doesn't have the best kicker, but decision to make here. He's just going to call. Inflaponcio hits his 9. It's not good enough, but it gives him some showdown value. And look at that pot. Already 11.2 million. He does check. Mustafa looking at the side, looking on the sidelines, wondering if he's about to be guaranteed second place money. Joka does bet, trying to charge any potential draw or maybe buy him a check on the river. Gets a call from the pair of nines, and this massive pot sees a 6 of diamonds on the river. Very much a brick. Should go check, you would think. How huge this pot is already. Unless Joka is really that sure that his one pair is good, I would never be sure. I would consider any bet here to be absolute lunacy. With just one pair. You gotta just check it back. Well, he's got other ideas, and Infliponcio now, with just that pair of nines, in a do-or-die spot here. Either he folds, or he is done. And we're left with 2 Europeans to fight it out. I would assume he folds, because there's still so much game left. Yeah, he does get away from it. Nice fold. Joka, I can't believe he went for that all-in. But his read was dead wrong. His read was dead on. Sorry, dead on. He was absolutely correct. He's just got way more guts than I could ever dream of having. Hang on a second, let me grab my phone. Alright. Still going with 2x strategy. Oh, Infliponcio. Getting hecked yet again. Europe now with a commanding lead over South America. Gustavo without really much to write home about. Oh, here we go. King. I was going to fold it. He only has 20 big blinds left, but Mustafa and Joka have certainly playable hands. It goes check, or lib check, and what a flop. Mustafa has top set somehow with just 8s, and Joka with a gut shot and 2 overs. Mustafa, of course, checks it to keep on underrepresenting his hand. Joka, even if he bets and gets raised, he's probably not going to fold. Gut shots are one thing, but gut shot and 2 overs? Okay, well now... now Joka is truly drawing dead. Mustafa with 8s full of 3s. If Joka hits a 7, he's probably going to punch a hole in his wall. So far, it's been a very small pot. He's going to make the bet here. Mustafa probably in no mood to raise just yet, because chances that his opponent actually has that big of a piece of the board are pretty low. The 4 comes. Joka still only has 10 high. Does he go for the check or does he go for the bet here? He's going to keep checking. Joka, will he fall for it? It's been checked to you. You don't need to spend this much time. He ends up tanking when it's been checked to him and then bets anyway. I'm sorry, that's just not going to look very strong regardless. And when your opponent has 8s full, it's just going to be laughable. Now, he's going to fake tank and try and decide on a raise number here. He doesn't have to go all in. You can make it like maybe 6 million. Now he's wasting his own time bank. His mind is certainly made up. He's going to raise. He just doesn't know what to raise? 7.1 million. We know that even if he were to hypothetically raise 2,000, which he couldn't, even if he raised only 2,000, Joker couldn't call. Inflaponcio with a little piece of it. But he's also got a very little stack. Mustafa and Joka can bully on him until he's just decided he's had enough. Although Inflaponcio does strike me as a pretty creative player. We've seen the way he played against Joka that one time. He's pretty creative. He has his ways. Just a gut shot, but he's going to check raise with it. And he spent a good time. Mustafa only with King High. This guy knows how to keep himself afloat. This guy knows how to remind the other two that he is still here and he is still a player. Raise, re-raise. There you go. Another nice pickup. 9.5 million for Inflaponcio. 27 big blinds. He is absolutely still in this thing. Let's try this again. Have they finally had enough limping when they have good hands? That was only a 3x raise instead of 3.5x. Nothing. I mean, this is going to be the majority of the hands. Just one of them has something and the other two have absolutely nothing. Now here's something. They both flop a pair. Mustafa, of course, trailing. Inflaponcio probably not ready to just blast off yet with a medium kicker like that. But then again, we are three-handed, and Inflaponcio has his own set of agendas. Mustafa with the wrong suit. He just has a pair of twos and really no draws. Not even backdoors. Well, technically he has backdoor straight, but yeah. Inflaponcio is just going to take it down. Should go raise, fold, fold. Ooh. Mustafa needs one of Yoka's fives, and Joka needs one of... Oh, Mustafa does not have a club. Yeah, one draw. Bets, now the draw calls. Now Mustafa has a combo draw, but he also has 4 high. Joka at least has the mighty jack high to fall back on. Through a card, it's like a red 10 or something. Overbet by Mustafa. Boy, he is adamant about folding out any draws, and Joka definitely not getting the right price to call. I mean, I'm sure he doesn't know that Jack High is good, and he is going to fold it. Mustafa using a rather underutilized move. I don't usually utilize it personally. Maybe I should think about it. Joka going with yet another limp to induce him. He's going to do that every time. He's going to go 3.5x every time it's linked to him in the button. Or in the big blind. And if Ponce with a pair, Joko with not a pair, this should be over quickly. Okay. These guys are playing on a different wavelength. Now it should be over. Okay. Oh, ace versus ace. Limp. Raise 3.5x. Probably call. It is legal to raise the small blind, right? They didn't just make a rule where you have to limp the small blind if it's folded to you, right? I guess it's just going with the meta. Oh! That's an overplay. Like a vast overplay. And a vast overshove. We just went from 1.2 million to 13 million. Mustafa, we can see, has a pretty easy call here. But that's most of his chips. And he's got to be wondering, wait, if Inflaponcio really had a big pair, he would have made it 3 million, right? Not 13. Does Mustafa really want to go for it here and now, though? He's got a huge hand, three-handed. But he will give it up. Inflaponcio's huge overplay pays off. And he has fought back very strongly. What's that, 35 big blinds? Yeah, 36 big blinds even. And they just went up, too. Inflaponcio doing Peru proud. Oh. You check to me in the big... Oh. Okay, now he is actually going to check because his hand sucks. We saw Chris Moorman earlier not bother to wrestle for a small pot like this. And now they're mostly doing the same here. They're deep enough now that they really don't have to be messing around without a hand there. And ugh. Speaking of no hands. Oh, clubs for Kustafa. Might throw in a bet. Maybe even an overbet. Yeah, he did it again. I'm getting better. Kongs. He doesn't get a chance to play them. Oh my gosh, those are very far from Kongs. Let's slow this down. I got a pair of nines versus a pair of sixes at the very least. I would not call this an action flop like in the movies, but it's at least a flop that may guarantee a bet and a call. And these guys actually are playing relatively close to the vest here. If my stupid mail would stop... Would you stop alerting me to new messages? I don't care. I don't care about mortgage lending offers from Chase Bank. Really. I don't need to know these things. They're blocking my use of the 2x button. These notifications are blocking the important part of the screen for me. There's two semi-playable hands here. I don't think Joker's folding to that. Oh. Wow, horrible flop. First one to bet should win it. Yep. And notice that Inflipontio's made his comeback over the course of many different hands. Ooh! You know, you don't have to make your comeback over one dramatic hand. There's more than one way to make up ground. Joker obviously wanting something specific. That's not quite what he wanted, but I think he'll take it. He'll at least call a bet. But Gustafa, not in the mood to donate. Joker might even bet himself now. And hope that a 5 or an 8 calls him. He's going to bet pot. But Gustafa with queen high can't possibly play this one. He might raise. No. Tens. Oh, it's a call, too. Gut shot for Infliponcio. Gustafa with that ugly ace staring at him. I'm not surprised that he decided to play the gut shot for that small bet. He's now got a pair to go with it, so I should probably slow this down again. Gustafa with a much larger bet on the turn. That seems to be the pattern going on here. Tiny bet on the flop, and then much bigger bet on the turn if it's a brick. Especially if it's brick. Infliponcio with a pair and that same gut shot, but it's a pretty small pair. Oh! This guy knows when to turn the heat up. Gustafa with just those 10s. There's an ace staring at him in the face. It's not a very coordinated board, but he can't find the call. He's getting a little bit desperate for chips himself now. And Infliponcio with 17 million is now firmly in second place. It's Gustafa Manit now who needs a little bit of help. If I were Infliponcio, I would be wearing the same expression as that basketball guy myself. I really don't understand why the continuation bets are that small. I would think I'd have to go at least a third of the pot to get the job done most often. Okay, they both have a queen here. Joker obviously in the driver's seat. And Gustafa, if he's not careful, could go bust here. Another small continuation bet. Gustafa with 22 big blinds. Well, now he's got 20 big blinds behind. And that club might change things. It's the jack of clubs, even. Joker with top pair and an up and down straight draw. Gustafa with top pair and a flush draw. If Joker bets here, I think Gustafa's going to go for it. And he should get called. So we know what the stakes are. I'm not going to pause it when it happens. Gustafa needs to have a club or a 6, or he will be wamboozled. Oh, he's just going to call. And the 9 comes home for Joker to hit a straight. And it's not the 9 of clubs. So Joker will win this hand. I think Gustafa can get away from it with just that pair of queens. Anyone with an 8 or a king has him beat. It's top pair. You don't want to get rid of it, but I think you have to. That run out is just dirty. Yeah, he does get away from it, so Kustafa is still among us, but he needs a lot of help now. He's shorter now than Infliponcio was when he started his comeback. And Joka back to where he was for most of this final table in a commanding position. Infliponcio with kings. Could go all in, could limp, or he could go in the middle. Once again, the Kongs don't get to do anything. Oh, hang on a second, I'm getting a phone call. Alright, I'm actually going to be going out somewhere with my family. But let's see if we can whiz past a few more of these hands. Oh. Well, here we go. This is good. You know what? Let's call this part 1. I'm assuming Joka will call here. This all-in can be the end of part 1. I'm going to call emergency audible here. And whether Kustafa may need doubles up or not. Looking good so far. Oh! Queen on the turn! Joka hits the card. Kustafa with only 2 outs left. Of course, it is just a flip, so... no resuck out. Kustafa Manit from Romania will take 3rd place. And when we come back, we will have a long and provocative heads-up between Infliponcio of Peru and Joka Kenjic from Serbia. So, I don't know. Should be a fun heads-up. It's going to be a long heads-up, I know that much. So, hope you enjoy. And hope you enjoyed what we have so far.